Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to welcome you to the Krame Center for Mindful Living. I'd like to welcome back those of you who are a regular part of our mindfulness community and our meditation group. And I'd also like to offer a very nice warm welcome to those of you who are new and joining us for the very first time. Just a little bit about us. We are a global nonprofit organization whose mission is to make the benefits of mindfulness, self compassion, and positive psychology accessible to all. Our goal here at the Krame Center is to help people become more resilient and live better lives through our various programs. We offer affordable pricing and scholarships, as well as these free weekly meditations. And our theme for the months of May and June is learning to love ourselves. And this week's particular theme is our wise voice. And so I'd like to kick us off with a quote by Laurel Burch. She says, "Live from the wise voice in your heart, and each day will blossom." So this week, we'll be exploring how to develop a wise, discerning inner voice to become our own best guide in life. Mindfulness really is the first step to finding our wise voice. Mindfulness brings about the awareness and the stillness that we need to listen to our own internal wisdom rather than relying on external sources for guidance. And once we tap into our wise voice, we also have to give ourselves permission to trust it. So, trusting ourselves and our own wisdom is very important in all aspects of meditation practice, but even more importantly in life. Our wise voice truly is always available to us, but it's often quite overlooked. Sometimes it's even dismissed. And rather than listening to our wise voice, we frequently remain caught up in the thinking mind. So, the intentionality of turning towards ourselves and honoring our feelings starts to begin to promote an equanimity between the mind and the body. It also allows us to tap into an intelligence that is quite likely greater than the thinking mind. So, establishing a trust in our intrinsic wisdom really is crucial to embodied living as well as to wholeness. Our emotional intelligence is often discounted as not having as much merit as the thoughts that we have. But the truth is, if you're ever having a thought that doesn't match an emotion or a physical sensation that can be felt in the body, you can generally be sure that the feeling is accurate and the thought isn't. We have to remember that our thoughts are not facts. And so, cultivating this internal voice, leaning into it, and trusting it allows us to have greater self compassion because that voice is more authentic and comes from a place of greater understanding as well as considerable objectivity. So, today we're going to take some time to explore our own wise voice, this voice that is innate within us. And know that even after today's meditation, you can continue to explore this voice. You can become familiar with it and learn to trust it. You just may be surprised by the benefits of doing so. And before we transition into our formal portion of the meditation today, I'd like to offer this quote by Sarah Lewis. She says, "If you trust your intuition, nothing can go wrong. Worst case, you learn a lesson. Best case, you find magic." And so, with that, I'd like to transition us into the formal portion of our meditation today. So, taking some time to find a comfortable seat, whatever that might mean for you in this particular moment, whether that's sitting in a chair, getting yourself a blanket, propping yourself up with pillows, may even look like lying down. Right? Giving yourself permission to get yourself as comfortable as is possible. And then, once you've settled into your seat, there's an invitation to close the eyes or soften the gaze. We're bringing our gaze inward now. We're tuning in and just doing the very best that you can to let go of whatever it is that came before this meditation. Likewise, doing the very best that you can to let go of what will come later in this practice, this afternoon, evening. Giving yourself permission to be here fully in this moment, in this body, and just gently resting the awareness on the breath in the body, noticing one breath in and one breath out. Another breath in and another breath out. And just continuing to follow the breath in this way. Doing the very best that you can to stay with each breath, breath by breath, and moment by moment. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be, but right here with the breath in the body. Continuing to follow the natural breath cycle. Staying with our tried and true companion that is the breath. And now I'd like to invite you to imagine yourself in a place that is safe and comfortable as possible. So it might be a cozy room with a fireplace. Maybe it's a peaceful beach with the warm sun and a nice cool breeze. Or maybe it's a forest glade. It could also be an imaginary place like floating on clouds. Just imagining yourself anywhere that you feel reasonably peaceful and safe. Just holding this place in the mind's eye and giving yourself permission, letting yourself enjoy being in this place. And soon you'll receive a visitor, a warm and compassionate presence, a compassionate friend who embodies the qualities of wisdom, strength, and unconditional love. So, this might be a spiritual figure, an ancestor, a wise, compassionate teacher. Maybe it's a person from your past, like a grandparent, someone whom you feel truly understands you. And know that this warm, compassionate presence, this being may have no particular form. Maybe it's more like a light or a warm presence. So just imagining, allowing this being to come to mind, joining you in your comfortable and safe place. And know that your compassionate friend cares deeply about you. They'd like you to be happy and free from any unnecessary struggle. And now placing yourself in the right position in relation to your compassionate friend. So maybe you have some respectful distance from one another, or maybe you feel very close. Maybe you're very close to one another. Whatever feels right, whatever feels good. And now imagining your compassionate friend in as much detail as possible. Really taking them in. Know that there's nothing you need to do except experience the moment. Maybe savoring their presence. And your compassionate friend is wise and all knowing. Your compassionate friend understands exactly where you are in your life journey. Your friend might want to tell you something, something that is just what you need to hear right now. So please take a moment and listen carefully to what your compassionate friend has to say. And if no words come, know that that's okay too. Just continue to experience the good company. Truly, that's a blessing in itself. And perhaps you would like to say something to your compassionate friend. Your friend listens deeply and completely understands you. Is there anything that you'd like to share? Sharing whatever you wish with your compassionate friend. Your friend may also leave you with a gift, a material object. This object might simply appear in your hands, or you can put out your hands and receive one. Something that has special meaning to you. If something appears, what is it? And now taking a few more moments to really enjoy your friend's presence. And as you continue to enjoy the good company, allowing yourself to realize that your friend is actually a part of yourself. All the compassionate feelings, images, and words that you were experiencing flow from your own inner wisdom and compassion. And finally, whenever you're ready, just allowing the images to gradually dissolve in your mind's eye, remembering that compassion and wisdom are always within you, especially when you need them the most. You can call on your compassionate friend anytime that you wish. And so settling back into your body, giving yourself permission to savor what just happened. Maybe reflecting on the words that you have heard or this gift that was given to you. And when you're ready, gently resting the awareness back on the breath in the body once again. So coming home to the breath once more. Following a few breath cycles. Staying with the breath that breathes itself. And as you sit here with the breath in the body, allowing yourself to feel whatever you feel, allowing yourself to be exactly as you are right now, in this moment. It is when we sit in stillness and allow ourselves to be exactly as we are that our wise and compassionate voice emerges. This innate voice that is within us all. Awakening Rites by Mark Nepo. We waste so much energy trying to cover up who we are, when beneath every attitude is the want to be loved, and beneath every anger is a wound to be healed, and beneath every sadness is the fear that there will not be enough time. Our challenge each day is not to get dressed to face the world, but to unglove ourselves so that the doorknob feels cold and the car handle feels wet and the kiss goodbye feels like the lips of another being, soft and unrepeatable. And so just allowing those words to land if they resonate, maybe letting them sink in if that feels right. Momentarily, I will ring the bell, and this will conclude the formal portion of our meditation practice together today. And so, very gently beginning to wiggle fingers and toes, bringing some slight and gentle movements back into the body. Maybe taking some exaggerating movements if that feels right. Stretching and moving the body in any way that feels good or right. And then opening the eyes if they had been closed. And I'd like to leave us all with a weekly invitation, as we always do. And this week, I want to invite you to continue exploring your wise voice. So, the invitation is to try and spend some time in quietude, stilling the mind. So, this might look like meditating. It might look like taking a walk through the woods. It might look like sitting in a nice warm bath. And as you spend your time in quietude, you may suddenly begin to hear whispers of your innate internal wisdom. And I'd like to encourage you to listen to this voice, hear what it has to say. If it feels right, maybe even lean into it just a little bit. As always, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for your practice. It's always such a pleasure coming together to practice in community. I'd like to wish you all a wonderful week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye, everyone, and take good care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.